going to preschool is a big step. It's a big change and transition for a young child. So I think as parents, we need to be very present to what the child is going through, especially how the child is feeling, being separated from parents in a secure environment that they're used to. So one of the things parents can do is to pretend play with the child. Pretend play in terms of, oh, what's it like going to school? What would you be doing there? What will mommy be doing when I'm not there? And another approach is to read appropriate books. Select books that talk about characters who are also transitioning to preschool for the first time. And pay attention to the feelings of the characters and talk about it. And get the child to maybe tell you, oh, do you think you like going to school? You know, try to engage the child in terms of sharing his or her views. As I mentioned earlier, you could do role play and then do some practicing of self-help skills, especially putting on their own clothes, putting things back into their bags, recognizing their belongings. Because when they go to school, they'll be in a group, so the teachers will gradually get the children to learn to be more independent in terms of self-help skills. So doing simple things like this help to give the child a confidence. But the other thing I think is really important is to begin that home-school partnership really early. So if you already know the class teacher that your child is going to be attached to, then get to know the teacher and share information about your child. What's your child's interest? What does she like in terms of food? And of course, the important things like allergies and all that. How do you soothe the child if she's upset? So typical things like that will help the teacher be able to better understand the child more quickly. Many centers these days have an orientation routine where you can come into the center for about 2 or 3 days, do a half-day morning, and get the child to get used to the different routines and who are the friends that she's going to be with, who's the teacher, what's mealtime like. So getting a child familiar with the new environment, especially the teacher, is really important. So that partnership needs to start way before the child goes to school. To manage your child's separation anxiety when he or she starts school, it's something many parents struggle with because it's just a strong emotions all coming up at the same time, both for you as a parent and the child. But one of the most important things is to assure the child that you will settle her in and also remind the child of the sequence of the day that you've been role-playing at home. When you are about to leave, do ensure that you notify the teacher and say, I'm going to leave now. Would you mind just holding my child's hand? So that if the child gets upset, she has an adult to comfort her. The other thing that works quite well for especially the younger toddlers is to bring a familiar object from home, like their favorite blanket, their favorite soft toy, even just a couple of photographs when the children think about you or the teacher is trying to comfort the child when she's anxious. These simple transition objects help the child to remember, oh, yes, mommy gave it to me this morning. Mommy said she's coming to fetch me back. These are just some simple ways to transition the child. But a child is very sensitive to your emotions. So if as a parent you are a little uptight or anxious, the child pick it up very quickly. Try to be present, try to be not in a hurry to leave the child, even though you may have a tight timeline. Assure the child, I'm here, I'll stay with you for about 15 minutes and then mommy has to go. When mommy go, I will ask teacher so-and-so to come to you.